go. Before you even throw the punches, your stance must be right as far as your pivot. Start off with your pivot, get on your pivot, and it's light. The jab goes like this. This is exactly how the jab goes. Jab.
Counterpunch. But overall, I have to say, Crawford, if you go down the list and ask me about tactical advantages, most of them are Crawford.
Floyd Mayweather recently visited Terence Crawford's training camp, offering key advice ahead of his high-stakes clash with Canelo Alvarez. Drawing from his own 2013 victory over Canelo, Mayweather emphasized the importance of speed, sharp defensive movement, and pinpoint counterpunching, tools that helped him outclass the Mexican superstar. His visit wasn't just symbolic, it provided Crawford with tactical insights that could prove crucial as he prepares to face a bigger, more powerful opponent in the biggest fight of his career.
You bring the hook with it. You can go to the body. Jab. Just double jab. Triple jab.
At a recent press conference, Canelo Alvarez questioned the caliber of Crawford's past opponents, suggesting the undefeated challenger has yet to face a truly elite fighter. With quiet confidence, Canelo positioned himself as a step above anyone Crawford has encountered, framing the bout as a major leap in competition for his rival. More than just bravado, Canelo's comments appeared aimed at planting psychological seeds, applying pressure before they even step into the ring. His words reflect both self-assurance and a strategic attempt to assert dominance. The
last fighters that you fought, they ain't on my level.
I fought everybody.
The last fighters you fought,
everybody.
2002.
Mention me one. You mention me one elite fighter. Just one.
You.
Oh, me.
Look.
It's gonna be me.
I don't care about anybody else.
And you will see that.
You. So when I beat you, is you gonna be a nobody? When I stuff a mud hole in your ass, is you gonna be a nobody? Things everybody else been saying since I moved to 147, I ain't fought nobody. Every last one of them stuff a mud hole in their ass and he gonna be next. Why?
Live, only on DAZN, June 28th. Jake Paul vs. Chavez Jr. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.
Boxing analyst Max Kellerman delivered a compelling comparison of the two fighters. He spotlighted Crawford's jab as one of the most effective weapons in modern boxing, fast, precise, and disruptive. While Canelo once boasted a similar jab, Kellerman noted that it's declined in sharpness over time. He argued that Crawford's superior timing and tactical intelligence could be a serious problem for Canelo, who often relies on his physical strength and pressure. This analysis reinforces the idea that in this matchup, brains might beat brawn.
Best jab, Crawford. Best defense, Crawford. Nowadays, Crawford. I would say early in the fight, Canelo. And earlier in his career, Canelo. But he hasn't been that kind of fighter in recent years. Although Crawford is also hittable. With any fighter, when you talk about their defense, the question is not, can they be hit with a shot? You take punches. Everyone, the greatest defensive fighters ever get hit. Pernell Whitaker, Willie Pep, Floyd Mayweather, they all get hit. The question is, can you hit them with combinations? And both guys are hard to hit. With the two-piece, hard to hit.
Who has the best footwork out of the two?
In terms of cutting off the ring, last fight notwithstanding, Canelo has gotten much better at cutting off the ring. But, early in his career, he had a problem with that and was much more comfortable counterpunching. But overall, I have to say Crawford, if you go down the list and ask me about tactical advantages, most of them are Crawford. What Canelo has is size. Size and, as a result, physical strength and punching power. Canelo also has a great chin. A great chin. But in terms of, if you want to go skill for skill, especially the recent version of Canelo, who's had to turn into a seek and destroy guy, who had to learn as his career went on to cut off the ring and not just follow guys around. Like Lara, Trout, Floyd, he followed those guys around. He had trouble because he's really a natural counterpuncher who wants you to come to him.
Nico Ali Walsh, grandson of boxing legend Muhammad Ali, has thrown his support behind Terence Crawford. He praised Crawford's character, discipline, and skill, calling him a fighter worthy of greatness. For Nico, Crawford's approach to the sport, both mentally and physically, exemplifies what it means to be a champion. His endorsement carries symbolic weight, bridging the respect Crawford commands in today's boxing world with the legacy of one of the sport's most iconic figures.
People with Canelo before Canelo's last fight, but then after Canelo's last fight, it seems like it's more 50-50 now. So everything is just the build-up for that fight is just going to be absolutely magnetizing. Like that fight, it's garnered so much more buzz after Canelo's last fight, and Bud is Bud. He's one of the greatest fighters in boxing history. He is one of the greatest fighters in boxing history. So it's going to be a fight. It's going to be awesome to watch.
Have you sparred any of them?
I haven't sparred Bud yet. I haven't been in Canelo's camp. I've met Canelo a few times. I love Canelo's team. Canelo's one of my favorite fighters. He's been my favorite fighter for the longest time. But you know, I have to be Team Bud because me and Bud are cool, and I have so much belief in Bud, and I know who he is as a fighter. He is one of the greats. So he could do anything he wants.
Being around both of them and seeing how they work and train and things like that, what makes both of them the fighters they are?
I've watched Bud, so for Bud in particular, he's calm in everything he does, and that kind of calm is scary to watch. It shows experience. You can see that he's been doing this for decades.
Canelo Alvarez has spoken with measured respect about Terence Crawford. He acknowledged that when elite fighters meet, weight differences matter less, what counts is adaptability and preparation. Canelo made it clear he's not underestimating Crawford, and he's preparing with maximum focus. His comments reflect a mature understanding of what's at stake and a recognition that talent alone won't be enough. This bout will require peak conditioning, sharp tactics, and total commitment.
Smaller guy, and why do I need to fight this guy? For you, what changed? Tell me about the moment where you're like, you know what? Maybe I'll do this. This sounds like a good idea.
If you're thinking about it, look how he turns this fight. It's a big fight. No, that's why maybe shame. But you know, I've been in his situation before, jumping in weight classes. When you're a good fighter, that doesn't matter. So I'm not gonna focus on that. I'm gonna focus on training very hard because Crawford is a very good fighter.
Yeah, tell me about your experience with that, because now it's reversed. He's coming up in weight. What could be dangerous? What aren't we seeing that maybe you see in this fight?
No, everything. He's a good fighter. Obviously, I know that. I need to be careful in everything.
Boxing commentator Showbiz the Adult offered a well-rounded take on the matchup. He praised Canelo's physical strength and the intensity. Why of his training camps, attributing much of his ring dominance to those factors. However, he also acknowledged Crawford's underrated wrestling background, which contributes to his balance, awareness, and ability to read and counter opponents effectively. While Showbiz leaned slightly toward Canelo due to his size and experience, he emphasized that Crawford's cerebral style could make this a far closer fight than many expect.
And Canelo uses his legs, he uses his core, and then his neck itself to lift up Bivol like Bivol was a featherweight. That is a huge representation of how strong Canelo is. When you look at his workouts, you can tell why he was able to do that. All these damn neck exercises that I wouldn't dare do. Okay, that stuff looks painful. The squatting and all that stuff that he's doing is exactly why Canelo Alvarez, honestly, is a strong fighter. He tried to do it again with William Skull. William Skull shook out of it. But he is a bull. Listen, Terence Bud Crawford is strong. He is, okay? And he understands leverage and he understands those things because he wrestled. Honestly, very true. But Saul Canelo Alvarez is also extremely strong. Now let me know how you feel in the comments below. We're in the zone, war room.
Jarrell Miller shared his personal hopes for the upcoming fight, voicing strong support for Terence Crawford. He emphasized that Crawford's hunger and determination could be the keys to overcoming any physical disadvantages. Dismissing concerns about size, Miller stressed that sheer willpower and drive often outweigh physical factors in the biggest fights. For him, it's heart, not height or weight, that decides champions.
Crawford, huge fight September 13th. Who do you think's going to win that?
I'm pulling for Crawford in this one. I think people underestimated his strength right now and his size. And I think he's a little more hungry than Canelo. So let's see though, but I like both guys, but I'm a little closer to Crawford, so I want to see Crawford can take it.
Analysts agree, this isn't just another fight for Crawford, it's a career-defining moment. A win over a champion like Canelo Alvarez would silence critics and secure Crawford's place among boxing's all-time greats. But to get there, he must stick to a cerebral strategy. Precision, patience, and adaptability will be critical. There's little room for error, and Crawford's ability to outthink his opponent could be the difference between legacy and letdown.
He understands that he has to be smart. And I think with this one specifically, it ain't just about being smart. He knows he has to look like he's never looked before. Because again, if he doesn't and he beats Canelo, everybody's just gonna say, well, that's wrong. You know, so I think he knows that this is the performance of a lifetime and everything has to look right. He knows in order for it to look right, he can't just go out there and let the dog go. The dog is, you know, you gotta work his way up to the dog. Hey, show the clip real quick. I don't know if you showed it already, but this is the dog you're talking about right here, right? And so this is, I pulled this clip right here. I seen it on social media this morning.
Don't do that. That's what I'm saying.
And I pulled this clip, right? But this is Terence.
That's who he is.
He's not gonna swing on Canelo. He already know that part of the game. But what I asked you, were you ever trying to send a message to your opponent? He's letting you know, and it's no act. And that's what I really wanted to show, is that's not an act.
No.
That's not, there's 30 security guards.
It feels a little contrived.
You think so?
I think a lot of people feel it's a little like.
Well, I'm glad you used a big word that most of us don't know.
Hey, I don't fight as good as you guys. I had to learn some big words, right, to make up for that.
Don't look it up. Just ignore.
You need big words to get out of fights. You know, you need big words to get out of fights. But you know, okay. So case in point, our guy Hayfu, sitting right there, producer extraordinaire. He had a picture of Terence Crawford in New York.
Crawford's ambition is undeniable. He's not only moving up in weight but also aiming to stop one of the sport's most formidable figures. While stepping into the 168-pound division is a major leap, Crawford's past performances at 154 showed he can rise to the occasion. He believes his technical skills and fight IQ can bridge the size gap and perhaps deliver a knockout that would shock the world.
Bud Crawford is taking his undefeated record, putting it on the line, daring to be great, to try and knock off Saul Canelo Alvarez from his throne and go and try to do something that no man has ever done, and that is to be a 3-division undisputed champion. That's a tall task. We know that Canelo Alvarez has fought fighters way bigger than Bud Crawford. It's actually one of the biggest talking points in this fight is the size. Canelo Alvarez has fought guys like Bivol. He's fought guys like Kovalev. He's fought guys like Billy Joe Saunders. He's fought really big fighters who are established at their weight classes all the way up to light heavyweight. And we know that Bud has come from a smaller weight class, being a champion all the way down at the 135-pound division into 140, 147. But as you can see in the tail of the tape, Bud is actually taller. Bud actually has a bigger reach. And quite frankly, he did most recently fight in the 154-pound division. And I don't think he will struggle to make weight to be at 168 and fight as a super middleweight. The question is, though, is bone structure. Who's going to carry that weight more effectively? We know that Canelo Alvarez has been in the weight longer, and as I mentioned, he's fought bigger guys. It's really something amazing for Bud if he's able to pull this off.
Edgar Berlanga weighed in with a word of advice: Crawford should trust the style and approach that got him to this point. Berlanga noted that taking on a challenge 2 divisions above his natural weight is already a statement in itself. There's no need to overcompensate, Crawford's strengths are enough. Regardless of the result, Berlanga believes this fight demonstrates Crawford's willingness to test himself at the sport's highest level.
First of all, he got to go in there and he just got to fight him. You know what I'm saying? He got to go in there. I think Crawford just got to go in there and do what he got to do. You know what I'm saying? He got to just be Crawford, you know, show his IQ, show him why he's a two-time undisputed, you know, world champion, and go in there with confidence. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. You know, it's a big weight difference, a big weight jump. You know, that could be a difference in the fight. You know, because obviously, you know, it's like me jumping up to heavyweight. Obviously, I'm gonna feel the power. I'm gonna feel that size difference, you know, compared to my other fights. So I just think that he got to go in there and just be himself. And I said, if he loses, you know, we'll just all know that, hey, you know, he just jumped up 2 weight classes to be great. You know what I'm saying? It's not. He can't really. He's testing himself. He's putting himself, testing himself a great fighter. So, and I don't doubt him. You know, I don't got no doubt in my mind. He's a 2-time undisputed world champion for a reason. So, you know, and I don't think nothing's gonna phase him in that fight. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the power, maybe the size. You know what I'm saying? And you know, Canelo, he's not knocking Canelo out. So, he just got to go in there and just IQ.
Would you lean towards Canelo still in that fight?
I got faith in him. I think Crawford could do it. You know what I'm saying? I think he could do it. Just like I said, just the size. The only shit that throws the fight off is the size and, you know, obviously the power. And Canelo's IQ too, because Canelo got IQ. You know what I'm saying? And Canelo fought a lot much bigger guys. You know, so I know the Crawford's power in that phase. And I know Crawford's size in that phase either. You know what I'm saying? So, but for me, I think it's a 50-50 fight.
Veteran boxing voices Gareth A. Davies and Duke McKenzie discussed the magnitude of this matchup, calling it a rare showdown in an era where elite fighters often avoid each other. This is greatness versus greatness, about where legacies are at stake. Both praised Crawford's adaptability, citing his ability to make mid-fight adjustments as a major reason for his widespread support. That in-ring intelligence will be critical if he hopes to counter Canelo's experience and physicality.
I really like, this isn't a huge I really like Terence Crawford. I think, you know, we were talking about coaches breaking down. I think that Terence does a good job of that, breaking his opponent down in the fight. I think that he does a good job of adjusting. I do think that, you know, Canelo is a big beat ahead of him, because I also like Canelo. Like, it's kind of one of those things, like, who do I like more than fight? It's going to be a really good fight. I like both of them. I think that, you know, that is something that I think women's boxing does a good job of, is putting on fights like that. Like, we'll fight whoever. So I think it's cool to see the men starting to do more of that. Like it's sort of has always been.
Tim Sayo offered a thoughtful take on the matchup, pointing out that while Canelo's style can be somewhat predictable, it creates openings for a clever fighter like Crawford. He also remarked that the heated press conferences are more show than substance, meant to build hype rather than express true animosity. Sayo believes Crawford's intelligence and skill make him a real threat, and he acknowledges that Crawford fully understands the historical weight of this moment. A win could etch his name into boxing history, while a loss could carry lasting consequences.
Almost made him this great. Do you think that this is a similar thing for your fight now at this point in your career, stepping up and facing someone like Canelo? Does this kind of make you unbeatable and this figure that will just go down in history?
I don't know. I don't know about comparing it to his situation, but it will be a situation where I'll be talked about for many decades to come, and definitely go down in the history books as one of the best fighters to ever face up the globe.
Terence Crawford has shared a measured sense of confidence ahead of the fight, estimating his chances of victory at around 70%. This self-assessment reflects a fighter who is grounded, realistic, and fully aware of the challenge posed by a larger, battle-tested opponent. It's a quiet confidence built on preparation, not bravado.
Yeah, 100% certain.
We never 100%.
What percentage are you?
70.
To say 70% chance, it just doesn't sound that confident. But I want to say this, though. He was being truthful. He knows how important this fight is. And it's that important because it is very difficult. So him saying this is difficult And I'm giving myself a 70% chance, which is why I'm doing it. It is not because I'm bigger than him and this is easy and I'm stronger than him actually and people don't understand that I'm more skillful. No, he's a beast. And this has never been done. And this is not a sure thing. And that's why I'm so eager to do it. That's the definition of greatness. That's why you should be on the Mount Rushmore accomplishes it. That's why Terence Crawford is brave.
That wraps up today's coverage. Stay tuned for more updates as the countdown to this historic fight continues.